into this episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake.
Let's go. It is officially Pot Culture Friday, which means your latest and greatest in pop culture news while we smoke up some of our first of the day. Super fucking excited to break down some peyote cookies per the reg with my beautiful co-host Rachel and talk about some pop culture news. How about it?
I'm excited. We have a couple good stories.
Yeah.
So,
Couple really good stories, I'm sure. I love it when Rachel collects all the stories for the Wake and Bake because she does a much better job than me. But we wanted to ask you guys a question on the show. What is the show that you've been watching recently? We're pulling all the role gangsters. Would love to know what you guys have been watching recently. We will share our show suggestions at the end of the show. So make sure to tap into that and send your own contribution wherever you're consuming this pod. But yeah, welcome on in officially. Want to get this thing on the road officially. Shout out the Roll Gangsters. And if this is their first time tuning in to an episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake, what the fuck's going on, Rachel?
we sit down every day at 10 a.m. and we discuss different topics depending on which day of the week it is. Like, for example, today is Friday, so it is Pop Culture Friday.
Oh yeah, Pop Culture Friday.
Yeah, yesterday was Canon News Thursday, so you can see it kind of switches up a little bit. And Monday is the day that we'll be back. We get a little weekend break from it, even though, honestly, we probably wish we were still doing the show. But on Monday is Good News Monday, so you can tune into that at 10 a.m. for the good news that is out there in the world, because we know the actual news normally it's just a lot of sad stuff. For example, like it was just on earlier this morning, and one of the stories and headlines just made my skin crawl a little bit. So
Yeah, fucking disgusting.
we want to give good, encouraging, positive news that has happened, because I think people definitely need to hear about it.
Yeah, if you guys are like me and you're allergic to the regular news because of how negative and disgusting it is, we will definitely produce a news show that you will not be allergic to. And just kind of keep it light and fluffy, especially with the industry as booming as it is. And absolutely excited to smoke up and get into the pop culture news.
Yeah, but before we do that, we always like to give a shout out to our two very special sponsors of the show. We have Oaksterdam University, which is the first ever cannabis college, a great place to go get all of your cannabis knowledge if you're looking to get into this budding industry. You can use promo code Rolling Spoon for 10% off of your tuition. Now that is one word, and that is a big deal. 10%? Hey, that's some change that you're saving.
It's like a couple $100. Oaksterdam is definitely a premium. It's the first ever cannabis college to boost your cannabis knowledge. But like that shit's basically the Harvard of the industry. So the courses aren't that cheap. You know what I mean? You're going to get the predominant cannabis industry education. So like Rachel said, 10% off is a hefty chunk coming from your Rolling Spoon scholarship.
And then, speaking of the Rolling Spoon, we have the other sponsor of the show, the handy dandy cannabis multi-tool that helps you seal a deal every single time.
Every single
rolling
time.
a dime.
Yeah, I'm using my handy dandy rolling spoon to help me scoop my herbs evenly and tidily onto my paper. You know, Mr. Binks here was playing with one of the rolling spoons earlier. He uses the multi-tool just as a little toy. But I use the multi-tool as a herb scoop to get it to the paper. Rachel uses it to pack her bowl. No matter how you use it, it's handy to have around your Rolling Spoon Cannabis Multi-Tool. And Yeah, also helping you get your education over at Oaksterdam. That promo code Rolling Spoon for 10% off really hits.
Yeah, Graham said, love the centerpiece, light and fluffy.
Light and fluffy,
That's
just
what
like
I
the
was thinking
centerpiece.
when he said light and fluffy. I said, you're funny. I was going to say, it reminds me of our centerpiece. But yeah, I think he knows when it's time to leave because we don't like to smoke around the animals or anything. We don't want to get that in their direction or anything. So he knows.
I don't try to or not to, because if they decide in their own will to power that they want to be around and they want to have a little toke, I think that they should have the freedom to get it. I would never force it, you know what I mean? I would never purposefully blow smoke at them. But if they want to like walk into the line, get a little hazy, you know?
I disagree, but that's okay.
Well, yeah.
But we're just going to go ahead and get on into the very first story that we have for you today.
Oh yeah, super
Ready?
excited. It's Pot Culture Friday, baby. Let's get into it.
First story that is pretty amazing, I think, is a missing girl named Kayla Unbwenden. I'm not quite sure how to say her last name, but she was found 6 years after being abducted at the age of 15. She is now 15.
Shit.
She was abducted 6 years ago by her mother, and it was just this crazy like custody type of story between her family. And her mother decided to abduct her and take her away. And then it just so happened that this girl walked into a Plato's Closet, which is kind of like, do you know what a Plato's Closet is?
No, I
It's like
don't.
a teenage reconsignment type of store for clothing, almost like a higher end thrift store type of thing, but they only take like name brand stuff, like, you know, they tried.
It's actually good, like high-end consignment situation.
Some of the stuff is like you'll find stuff from like American Eagle or Forever 21, those type of things, and also like higher up things. They have some stuff from like Urban and other things. So it's basically just stuff that people come in wanting to sell, and those people buy it from them and then sell it for a higher price.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But the girl that was working there behind the counter recognized her.
No way.
Because they knew each other from school when they were younger. So she recognized her, told her manager, call the police, because this girl's story was on one of the Unsolved Mysteries that recently released on Netflix.
Oh, the Unsolved Mysteries stories.
So, yeah. So this girl was then found. And the police came, and at first she was not very compliant with the police, and they said that it sounded like she had like a pre-rehearsed story as to what happened. But then she ended up cooperating and everything, and now she's reunited with her father again, and her dad is just asking for privacy during this time as they like relearn each other and everything. But what a crazy story. They were able to track them for like a certain amount of time, and then the trail just went basically black. They couldn't find them, and then she just walks into a Plato's Closet 6 years later. Someone helped
Imagine that
recognize
fucking...
her.
The world is code. What are the odds of that? Imagine like... So you hear that someone from your old school is on a Netflix show. And so you watch the Netflix show. Like, honestly, Rachel and I went to the same high school, and we were close with the same people. And if anybody was on a show like that, we would be devastated. You know, anybody from our high school, we sincerely, it's like a small school, we knew everybody. So if that happened, we would definitely know. And then if all of a sudden that person walked in at work, I'd be like, holy shit, what is going on?
They showed a picture of her from when she was younger to what she looks like now. And I mean, you can definitely see the resemblance. I mean, it obviously is the same person, just 6 years in between. But
they look different, though.
Exactly, that's the thing. Like, she definitely looked different. So it's just really incredible that girl was able to recognize her. And
it's kind of relatable for, like, young people, though. Because, like, genuinely, we do, like, spend every day with our schoolmates. You know what I mean? That's something like every kid will take for granted, is getting to see all the people that they love and hate every single day.
They're basically like your coworkers if you think about it.
Yeah,
you know?
like coworkers, like family.
Yeah.
And yeah, by the grace of the power above, recognizing the damsel in distress and calling the proper authorities,
Yeah, no,
saving the day.
Kayla is reunited with her dad, while her mom is now in jail, facing serious crimes.
Yeah, the superstar of the story is that fucking
The girl,
the worker, though.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, fucking gangster. Wow, what about that? Saving lives and selling consignment goods. She needs a fucking raise.
Yeah, honestly. Or at least a good bonus, you know, something.
Yeah, maybe she'll be a detective.
I wonder if there was like a reward. But
I'd
they
say.
probably did that like years ago, you know, put it out, so maybe it still stands, but
I'd say it does.
yeah.
That's a fucking awesome piece of news. Love to hear
It's
it.
pretty cool.
What's the next piece of pop culture news here on this Pop Culture Friday?
The next piece of news we have is kind of a repeat in history. So, Prince Harry, you know, Princess Diana's son, Prince Harry and his wife Meghan Markle were in New York City for a charity event that they were at when they had a near catastrophic paparazzi chase in the car in the streets of New York City. And if you know his mother, that is how she has died, which is super sad. And he's been very active, you know, defending his family against paparazzi, asking for peace and privacy, you know, and he's taken a step out of the royal family, all of that. He's not like directly in line anymore or anything like that, because he knew it wasn't safe for his family, because Meghan Markle caused a lot of, honestly, in my opinion, it's unnecessary. It wasn't her fault. It's just how the world is. But
Yeah,
Meghan caused like a bit of a stir up and everything. So that also was one of the reasons why they stepped down from being in line. But I mean, it literally is history repeating itself. And like, I think it's honestly just disgusting. Like, no picture is worth killing the people that you're trying to get the picture of, you know? Like,
They don't know they're killing it. They're just doing their job.
but the thing is I get that. I understand, like, you have a story and you have, like, a deadline. You need to get this or else your kids aren't going to eat, you know? Like, I understand where that is, but then it's literally just history repeating itself, though. Like, this could have been absolutely catastrophic. And there was
I think it's the fault of the you know, if you don't want the attention, you gotta step down. And I know they did, but you gotta like forcibly do it and let everybody know. You can't be half pregnant about it. You can't want the attention half the time. Like, if you are really afraid of the paparazzi, then you gotta stop doing what has made you famous. Like, you know what I mean? Completely disconnect yourself from that line of work, you know?
It is hard, though, when, like, you are royal.
Yeah. Yeah, but even being royal is a choice, you know what I mean? Like, if you, for example, like, if it were me and I genuinely didn't want, you know, I would enjoy the paparazzi. I would give even though I would hate it, I would get out of the car and give them what they need to stop following me. You know what I mean? They're worth it to me. The influence is worth it to me. But if I genuinely didn't want the influence or the attention, I would move to a place where I could serve the rest of my life. You know, I would move to Africa and help build communities.
Well, the thing is they have done that. They have moved to Africa and done that.
I would have stayed there. You know, that would be my house with my family. You know, and there wouldn't be any cell service or anything. Like, if it was genuinely...
they have gone off the grid. Like, they have gone and lived with, you know who Tyler Perry is?
No.
Medea?
That actor.
Yeah, that guy, Tyler Perry. He's the godson of their one child. Like, they lived with him for months just to get out of paparazzi.
But that's not, see, months, not the answer. To live somewhere, you need to stay there.
Okay, but then again, it's like they should not have to stop living their lives and go not see another living soul again because they're worried that they're gonna get in a car crash or being chased.
I know.
Like, there has
it's sacrifices. Either you get, like you said, it is absolutely irrational to put your kids in danger. So option one, succumb to the paparazzi. Like, you can't, if you don't want them to be dangerous, give them what they need. It doesn't matter if you're in a time crunch. Your kid's safety is more important. That's option one, succumb. Or option two, take your family and go somewhere that's not interesting. Like, there is a lot of people that could use their help and their manpower and their wit to build a community for people that are struggling, somewhere desolate without, as advanced society as we have in Britain or in America or anywhere where there's cell service, And it's really hard. It's a travesty of a story. Like, some attention could have ended up in someone's their family getting harmed. It's unacceptable. I think it was the angst and the irrationality of the royals for not giving.
I think that this is going to be the last time that you see them out for a really long time. I think if there's anything, they're just going to probably be done with it right now. Like, this is exactly how
think
his mother died.
Zimbabwe.
He doesn't want to do that to his wife or kids or anything. So I think that we're not going to be seeing very much of them, even though you already don't see very much of them. But
that's what I was trying to say.
All right, then. Well, moving on to the last story that we have today.
But before we get on into it, gotta give a shout out to the Rolling Spoon and Oaksterdam University, some legendary sponsors. Go and look them up if you're curious as to what they offer. Love to be sponsored by some real ones. What's the last story we got?
The last story is definitely going to end more on a positive note. Well, depending on if you like this person or not. But Post Malone has officially announced his new album called Austin, and it's going to drop July 28th.
Is his real name Austin?
Mm-hmm.
No way! Post Malone? Do you think that's going to start the change of his moniker?
I don't know. I mean, I think the weekend he changed like his Instagram name to April and stuff, so I don't know. I think that we might see some more of that, or them going by both, but
John Mellencamp did that first. He went from John Cougar, got famous off John Cougar, and then changed it to his real name, John Mellencamp.
Yeah, I mean, no matter what, people will never stop calling him Post Malone. But
yeah, they
could. I don't know, but I'm really excited about this album. I'm a huge Post Malone fan. I am interested to see what it sounds like. If it's going to sound a lot like his previous stuff, or if he's going to switch it up at all, who's going to be featured on it. I'm sure there's going to be some pretty good people, so we'll see.
It's definitely going to be a banger of a project.
Definitely.
He's super, super talented. I hope it like reinvigorates him a little bit. I love his old music. You know, I'm a really big Post Malone stan, but some of his new shit's been a little bit lackluster for me. He's getting a little soft with it. And
like a little too like pop.
Yeah.
You know?
Let's see him get back to his ways. A new project
He says that this is like his favorite one he's ever released. He said he feels the most like him in it.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what that means.
Yeah, I hope it means great things for Post Malone. But as I tamp out this beautiful joint on this beautiful Friday morning, I hope all the Roll Gangsters have an amazing weekend. This was an amazing, well done on the stories for Pop Culture Friday. The OG Rachel making a banger of trifecta of stories. Very interesting. I absolutely love to sesh with the Wake and Bake gangsters every weekday morning, 10 a.m. Pacific. And yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you on Monday for Good News Monday. And we hope that you have a great weekend. And thank you for spending some of your Friday with us.
Mwah. Have a great weekend. Oi.